Oh man, I got some good news. Top of the food chain. What's up with the Z reference? I've been seeing the Z reference everywhere. What's up, Boogaloo? What's up, Sovereign Seeker? We're gonna wait till we get some more people in here. I got a huge announcement for tomorrow morning. Huge announcements for tomorrow morning. Can you guess who is coming on the show tomorrow morning? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Who's coming on the show tomorrow morning? Y'all take a guess. Y'all take a guess. Y'all take a guess. What's up, Jay? No, not Brandon Joe Williams. Think bigger. Sorry. Eddie Craig. Eddie. We about to get the Godfather Eddie Craig tomorrow. About to get the Eddie Craig tomorrow. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, we are going through something different right now. But tomorrow morning, we got enough people in here. We got 20. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Eddie Craig is coming on Operation Wise Dome. It's free for everybody. We are going to make it to where questions and answers will be going on. Oh, slow it down. Slow it down. Eddie Craig gonna be in town, baby. Yeah. So Eddie Craig's gonna be in tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. You did not miss it. Not Eddie Craig's. This is what we'll do. Let's do it like this. So if I can bring this over here. In the description of this video, you should see where it says I will be hosting Eddie Craig tomorrow in the exact link, Zoom link. It's in the description of this video. You should be able to find it without any issues. Are y'all able to see it? Can you let me know? I'm sure you got some questions. I got questions. I got lots of questions. I've got lots of questions. Downloads. Let me get my downloads ready for what we're about to go through today, y'all. Yeah, this is what I want right here. Okay, so we got Eddie Craig coming through tomorrow. The description for the Zoom link should be in it should be in the description, y'all. And we got Eddie Craig tomorrow morning that we're finally going to get to talk to. I know lots of people have been asking about Eddie Craig. That's my OG, y'all. Just like Carl Miller. I have high respect for Eddie Craig and everything that he's done, all the work that he's been put in. And I did want to make something else I wanted to state real quick. Yeah, last night we hosted a Operation Wise Dome meeting, and it did not go as planned. It was really all over the place. All right, what's up, breaking news now? What's up, Soraya? What's up, Gutter God? Pig's daughter. What's up, AK? What's up, AK Otis? Who else we got in this thing? Let me shout out everybody. What's up, Tommy? What's up, Nick? See y'all all in here. What's up, Daniel? Last night we had an Operation Wise Dome meeting. What's up, Tribe? Hey, Tribe, did you make it in last night, bro? By chance, to the Operation Wise Dome meeting? I don't think I saw you. But yes, it was all over the place. And that's not normally how I like things to go. I'm pretty structured in everything that I do. And when things go out of structure and it's not beneficial to people, I get a little bit frustrated. Okay. There shouldn't have been a password. It should have been open. You couldn't join. Okay. Then that's my mistake. If you could send me an email, because I would like for you to attend tomorrow if you can. And I'll try to make sure that we don't have no issues with that tomorrow. I'll just leave it completely open. And I don't know why I was having that issue. So Left a comment in your post. Okay, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Last night, dude, literally last night, we had the Operation Wisdom meeting, and it went totally off topic. It really went into an aspect of confusion. More of my people left confused than knowing anything. And I'm going to make sure to do better in that. And I just want to apologize for anybody that, yeah, it was a mess. And I'll have it well structured. We won't have those issues again. I promise. I feel bad. Anyways, other than that, though, Eddie Craig is coming on tomorrow. Okay, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Operation Wisdom. The link is in the description. Okay, I'll make sure and send out an email to everybody, at least all the emails that I do have. Um, Usually you get on my email list by signing up for the Right to Travel course, and agenda helps. Yeah, I know. I messed up. Listen, I'll tell you like this, tribe. The first 4 meetings were great. Okay. I had an agenda. I went through that agenda. For some reason last night, I didn't do an agenda. And I normally leave it open, the Operation Wisdom, open for everybody to come and speak. And it was doing okay until last night. And we just got off on some deep theories that didn't help anybody. It was not productive whatsoever. I didn't get to help anybody. And again, I'm sorry for that. And I'm fixing those things. So, what I'm going to end up doing is, again, tomorrow we got Eddie Craig on, so it's going to be structured. It's going to be nice. But every operational wisdom or wisdom meeting will be on point from now on. I won't let that happen again. I'm sorry, y'all. I got foundational members that support this, and I want to make sure that we keep those by doing the right things. And yeah, it was all over the place. It was not structured properly. But there were some people in there that I just couldn't believe what they were stating. And I need to do some more verification on that. And once I get that down and get the right information, then I'll bring that forward. But what we're going to go into today is something that is maybe a little bit more along those lines in which they were speaking of, which, if you can see the screen and everything now, is diplomatic immunity. Okay. And this old hot topic of passports. Now, y'all know I don't like passports. I feel like that's another contract in which you're engaging yourself into, which I don't think you need. But some other people say that you do. And the reasoning for that may be found in this document here. And what I want to do is I want to go through it. I've never read it. It was sent over to me. And I want to see what it has. So we can figure out a little bit more, because I know that Brandon Joe Williams speaks on it. I know people talk about getting the DOT number and all those good things. But I'm a strong believer in no contracts and standing firm on being who I am, which is the highest of power and authority in this realm that we have, right? At least on the human level. Well, maybe not human, but living being level. Let's say that. Hey, Lynn, I still need to send you your email. If you could email me over, Lynn, because I didn't get your book yesterday. I spelled the email wrong. Lynn, if you could please send me an email so I can get you your book, please. And let's go through this document here. Diplomatic immunity. This treatise contains standings, case law, and citizenship, and a 2-page example on how to fill out the passport form. I don't know how old this is. I don't got a passport. So, again, this is not anything that I have utilized myself. Okay. Hey, Swamp Fox. I don't know if I am upset with you, brother. I don't know if you were in the Operation Wise Dome and you said something to upset me, but if you did, I don't hold grudges, so you're good to go. Passport endorsement codes on my channel, very important info that's hard to find. We might have to check that out. Are you telling me you did an overview, so you don't have a document? All right. But maybe you need to come through and help us out, because we had a bunch of confusion. Honestly, tribe, if you want to shoot me an email, bro, I'll probably just shoot you a call tonight. We can go over some things real quickly if you want to, and some of my confusions, and maybe you can give me your perspective. Okay, getting into this. Free yourself from tyranny. Everyone has tried many complicated and time-consuming things to retrieve their rights that are secured by our constitutions and to stop unconstitutional traffic tickets, taxes, prosecutions, foreclosures, depriving you of your Second Amendment right to arms, and lawsuits. I will not go into all that has been tried, happened, and failed. Well, we know for at least us over here on this right to travel, it has not failed as much as one would think it has failed, is because we've actually figured out a lot to it. But we'll see what this document has to say. It would be too time-consuming, and most would not understand. Isn't that the truth? I will give a brief description on how this works. When you got your Social Security number, you either Either you or your mom or dad checked off that you were a U.S. citizen on the SS5 application. And then you continued to claim to be a U.S. citizen throughout your life, and you did so on all of your government forms and applications, which caused you to pay taxes, get tickets, and every other act of treason that has happened to you. The U.S. in this case is a federal corporation in the District of Columbia, also known as USDC, or the United States. It was created by the Congressional Act of 1871. Also, see 28 U.S. You know what's so funny about that 1871? That was the same year in relation to the Ku Klux Klan Act. Very interesting changes being made in 1871. Also, see 28 USC 3002-15, United States means a federal corporation. So, a U.S. citizen is a citizen of the federal corporation and not a union state or USA republic. I tried to send you an email. It won't go through. I need to talk to you for real. I don't know why your email wouldn't go through. Everybody else's emails goes through. That's weird. So a U.S. citizen is a citizen of a federal corporation and not a union state or USA republic. So now it's easy to see that a U.S. citizen is a legal fiction, U.S. corporation, and has no rights secured by the Constitution. Only people have rights secured by the Constitution, not legal fictions. You should have checked off other on the form because you are a state citizen that you were born in, which is referred to in Article 3 and 11th Amendment of the Constitution, which is the same as citizen of the United States, as penned in Article 1 and 2 of the Constitution, that you were born in, which makes you a citizen of all states and one of the people, a beneficiary of the Republic of the USA, Constitution of 1789 and 1791. A state citizen is a citizen of the United States, but not the same as a 14th Amendment citizen of the United States. And the 14th Amendment fell into two states short of being ratified. So it does not lawfully exist. A 14th Amendment citizen is born in the United States, which is a federal territory and subject to Congress. This is not the same as being born in one of the several states of the Union. Why is that? Is that because each state is and of itself its own country? This is not the same. The United States of America is a de jure republic government, not the United States, which is a corporation. Got the difference? The preamble to the Constitution establishes the United States of America, not the United States. A big difference. So we have two different and distinct national governments. This treachery has always been the goal of the enemy. See case law. The idea prevails with some. Indeed, it has expression in arguments at the bar that we have in this country substantially two national governments, one to be maintained under the Constitution and with all its restrictions, the other to be maintained by Congress outside and independently of that instrument by exercising such powers as other nations of the earth are accustomed to. I take leave to say that if the principles thus announced should ever receive the sanction of a majority of this court, a radical and mischievous change in our system will result. We will, in that event, pass from the era of constitutional liberty guarded and protected by a written constitution into an era of legislative absolutism. Well, that sounds very similar to what we are already living. It will be an evil day for American liberty if the theory of a government outside the supreme law of the land finds lodgment in our constitutional jurisprudence. No higher duty rests upon, no duty higher at all duty rests upon this court and our people to exert its full authority to prevent all violation of the principles of the Constitution. Unquote. Honorable Supreme Court Justice John Harlan in the 1901 case of Downs versus Bidwell. Well, since that was over 100 years ago, I guess we are there, aren't we? Guess we are there, aren't we? It's all about your citizenship. It's that simple. Okay. Now, I'm just going to keep it going for right now. So, see case law. quote, taxpayers are not de jure state citizens. Uh-oh. Belmont versus town of Gulfport. Uh-oh. Taxpayers are not state citizens. U.S. versus Anthony 24 Fed 829 in 1873. The term resident and citizen of the United States, this means the 14th Amendment citizen, is distinguished from a citizen of one of the several states, in that the former is a special class of citizen created by Congress. Oh. So you can see in the above case citations that there are two national governments. More case law on citizenship listed at the end. You are all the below. Number one, a state citizen which is born in one of the several states of the Union, not the United States. See Article 3 and the 11th Amendment of the Constitution. And two, a citizen of the United States as penned in Article 1 and 2 of the Constitution. Notice that when you signed up to vote, it asked if you were a citizen of the United States. This is the only citizen that can vote. 3, a non-citizen national. This wording also applies to those born in the unincorporated islands of the United States. You are not any of the below. Okay. 1, United States citizen, which is a legal fiction and a franchise citizen of the Federal Corporation, United States, District of Columbia. This one does not have any constitutional rights. Notice when you filled out your voter registration, it did not ask if you were a United States citizen, because a United States citizen cannot vote. United States national, which is also a legal fiction. This one also does not have any legal or have any rights. You are not a 14th Amendment citizen. This is someone born in the United States territory and Congress has authority over, and does not have all rights guaranteed by the Constitution. See how it is worded. Born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. And of course, you are not an alien. So to reclaim your citizenship, you need to certify your citizenship by getting a passport. Gosh dang it. Gosh dang it. I got to get my passport? Why? Someone tell me why. Can someone please tell me why I have to get a passport? Before we go any deeper, I just want to know why. Why do I need to get another document, a contract, in which I pledge an allegiance to be free? Why can't I just claim to understand the difference, put out an affidavit, and require and demand that I get a response from the Secretary of State, the Department of Justice, whatever aspect I need to go to? Can someone that has already claimed, as they have, as I've seen in the chat already, to have done this, why do I need to get a passport? Can anybody help me understand that before moving forward? I want to know. I've gotten my let's put it like this. I've been able to open up my own bank account with no ID other than a newspaper article and my birth certificate, apostille, both on state and federal side. No ID, no social. So if I can do that, why do I need to get a passport to certify my citizenship? That's something I just need to understand. It's hard for me to understand. Someone's gonna have to break me down. Just have to call up Brandon Joe Williams. So to reclaim your citizenship, apparently from this guy, you need to certify your citizenship by getting a passport as a state citizen. Dang, bro. I really don't want to. Your birth certificate that is required for your passport is proof that you are a state citizen and that your title and deed to your rights secured by our founding documents. It is on bond paper that you are the bondholder beneficiary. However, you will not find the term state citizen on governmental forms because they are deceptively hiding it from the public. They use such terms as citizen of the United States, non citizen national, national, or other. When you get your passport, it will look like any other and will say that your nationality is the United States of America. This is true if you are a state citizen, 14th Amendment citizen, or U.S. citizen. They do this to hide that what they are doing. Remember that the U.S. citizen is a legal fiction, a U.S. corporation with no rights. A 14th Amendment citizen has little rights. A state citizen has absolute freedom and liberty protected by our founding documents. You are not a legal fiction, are you? Nor a U.S. corporation, U.S. citizen, nor a 14th Amendment citizen, are you? You are a state citizen. I don't know. Am I a state citizen? I feel as though I am a creation of the Creator. I feel as though I am a living being and soul that has come and manifested in many ways and many times before. And such a title as state citizen would fall below what I know myself to be. Lynn, we see you're not constantly. We see your chats. I see your chats, Lynn. I see your chats. But my line of thinking does not allow me to bring myself down to state that I am a state citizen. Do you see my problems with that? I'm taking a title in which is unbecoming of me. Do you see what I'm saying here? Do you understand my logic, my train of thought here? American citizen is the tribe says, American citizen is self-sovereign in our self-governing republic. Channel 3 says, I want to be none of that. Opt out. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling as though I can make my own document that states I am of the highest authority. I mean, it it's killing me, y'all. It's killing me, y'all. Do you see my conflict here? To pledge an allegiance? Man, I don't get it. An unrebutted affidavit stands as truth. It kills me, man. I don't know what to do. I'll keep going. I'll keep reading. You are a state citizen of the state you were born in. Again, these are not my viewpoints. I'm reading this, which makes you a citizen of all of the states and a non-citizen national and a citizen of the United States as penned in Article 1 and 2 of the Constitution. Without prejudice, of course, is being signed. I love that. I guess we would have to use that still to reserve all of our rights then, huh? Is that how we're going to do it, guys? We get the passport to just reserve all rights and work within the matrix. Nationality is the same for all three types of citizens. Passports will not show the different types of citizens. An example passport form and affidavit is included below in this treatise. Okay, so we're including the affidavit. So again, an unrebutted affidavit stands as truth, correct? Okay, below in this treatise. Fill out the application in black ink as per the instructions. The main things to remember on the passport form is to put in your social security number. Before, we did not put in the social security number or simply put in all zeros. The older forms said the social security number is voluntary in the instructions of the application. It still is voluntary and a felony for them to demand it. See 42 USC 408A-8. But if you leave it off, they may deny you the passport and keep your money. It does not matter that you give it to them. Even if they took the application, they will write your SS number on the form somewhere. So write your social security number. Now, see, they're given instructions. And again, I'm just reading this document. This is not something that I've done. I don't know Charlie Sprinkle. Tarnished Viking says slaves. What do you mean by that? You got to give some more context to what you're stating here. Boogaloo says, I am the God. So I don't need labels or titles but my own. That's how I feel. Tribe says he used the wrong endorsement code. So whatever code we are going to read in relation to an endorsement is incorrect. Tribe, I'm sure you can let us know why. This is the most important thing to do. All of the other stuff I mentioned does not really matter. It's only a way to make them pay close attention to your application. Every place that it asks if someone is a U.S. citizen, mom, dad, spouse, ex, you check off no. If you check off yes to U.S. citizen on anything, then that makes you a U.S. citizen. Otherwise, you are a state citizen. No one is a U.S. citizen, not you or your spouse or anybody else, mom, dad, or children. This is the most important step. No. 2, U.S. citizen on everything. Make sure you get this right. This is the only thing that matters on application. So, Tribe, you're telling us this is the deal? Jonathan says it's a felony, but they do it anyway. So just comply. Sheesh. See what I'm saying, bro? Like, what am I getting myself into? Like, what am I getting myself into? Lynn, you're not being titled. We can see your comments, Lynn. What is going on, Lynn? Social media is public now. That's why I get in trouble all the time because I don't comply. At point blank, okay. Y'all can't start arguing too much. We got to figure out a solution in this. Don't get too hard on them now, Channel 3. Don't let them bully you into checking off the U.S. citizenship. 3, put in care of in the mailing address and use the standard mailing address with zip code. This means that this is merely where you receive the mail and you do not live in their jurisdiction. And for the permanent addresses, you use RFD, rural free delivery, for the address, and then city and state. Then use all zeros for the zip. This means that you live in the Republic and not in any fictional jurisdiction. If they force you to put something else in, then do it. If they force you to put something else in, then do it. Yeah, man. See where I'm having problems with this. I did an extensive review of their codes from official documents. Too boring for this stream. Well, the right information is not boring. Okay. So if you're able to provide us with the right information, that's not too boring. It is the only way to make them pay close attention to your application. Again, you checked off no. Additional things you can do, put without prejudice above your signature. This ensures that you are not the legal fiction and you are not contracting away your rights, although this should not be needed as a state citizen. So literally what's going on is to me, I'm going to tell you what this sounds like. It states like they're using this terminology that's been found to utilize something that's not even going to be shown on a passport just to have to sign it UCC. And nowhere are we going to be able to find out within their system that we are going to be known as a state citizen in and of itself. That's what don't make sense to me, y'all. So if I go get this, how am I going to know within the system that it says that I'm a state citizen? Then let's say, like, yeah, man, how am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to know? This is my problem. I need verification, bro. Then use all zeros for the zip code. This means that you live in the Republic and not in any fictional jurisdiction. If they force you to put something else in, then just do it. Yeah, see, I'm weirded out. Put in without prejudice, expedite your passport. The faster you get it, the faster you will be free. In addition to the State Department, the State Department will delay your passport to the maximum allotted time. Otherwise, they do not want you to have it. They don't want me to have it, huh? Okay, so see, who says they don't want me to have it? Look at everybody who does all these things different. Is that because y'all do this for other people? All rights reserved. So we got Tara Spence saying, I cross out the under penalty of perjury out of any document that says that. Just found out about UCC 1-308 a month ago. We'll see. That's Pig's daughter says, do not put the SS on the passport application. They can only place information on the form within the denoted box. It would also be fraud, so there could be an option for suit. Homeboy says, I put zip codes in parentheses. Boogaloo says, I have to go to a police station and get them to run the passport. That's how you confirm you're on the do not detain arrest list. Jonathan says, I've been messing with an AI program. I turned it stance between driving and traveling. Okay, cool. Passport is John Williams says, uh, a passport is an identifying document going to another country. Wouldn't you want to know who is coming in? Lynn Davis says, I also cross out, do you understand on everything? While UCC 1-308 may be the shit, you are pledging an allegiance, bro, with this passport. You're pledging an allegiance. You're pledging yourself in a sense. I mean, I gotta think there's some kind of underlying contract that's deeper than just an identification card. Okay, I'll keep going. 6. Do not include affidavits of citizenship with your application. Oh, I can't now include an affidavit? Oh, wow. Or underline non-citizen national. You will be denied. Oh, well, if I can't even include an affidavit securing all my rights and remedies, what is the point if I'm just going to get denied? I get so confused, bro. This don't make no sense to me. I can't prove anything that's going on. You say, oh, well, you can finally take the passport to the. I know people that got their passport, they're still getting arrested. Like to me, I need some depths here. You know, we met a guy last night on Operation Wise Dome. His name, is Steven. And he's got a fairly good sized following. And, I always want to trust people right off the bat. I'm a very trustworthy, like I trust people. If you don't show any of that, then I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna give you the day to trust you. But last night, people were in there and I was asking for like some proof. I just want like some documents that you could show me. Like with me, I'm all about documents. I'm all about documents that we're doing, what we have going on right now, showing my proof of how I've won in court. Like, you want to see my civil suit? You want to see the complaint that I filed? Do you want to? I mean, like, what do you want to see from what I've been able to do and prove myself? And when I ask for documents just for people to show me proof, it's like it's a secret. It's like it was crickets. And I get really confused in that. And it's like, why? Why are people free to know the truth? Is it some pay thing and you have to make a pledge to be secret? And like, do I need to make a pledge to you in this brotherhood? Like, why do I need to do all that just to be free? Like, even if that wasn't the case, like, why was there crickets when I'm trying to figure out? You're saying, oh, well, all you have to do is file a affidavit to the courts and don't show up. And if they unrebutted, it stands as truth and you're good to go. Ignore it. And I'm like, okay, now in a sense, I can understand that line of thought, right? Let me see. I'm going to bring this chat over here. Okay, so I can read what y'all are saying for a second. Because I honestly don't even want to read this whole document. I really don't. I really don't. I don't want to put false information that I don't know that doesn't work or being able to verify it myself out here into the community, into the ether and into the space. I know Brandon, bro. I've been on his show. I've watched a lot of his stuff. But like I say, even with Brandon, he's going through the info, but there's like no proof that anything still works to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still going through courts and courts and courts, and he hasn't won anything. I love Brandon. He's out here advocating and fighting based on the law, but he hasn't won anything. So if he hasn't won anything, why would I take steps in that way and operate in that way? Yeah, I'm talking about the Pickle King, Pickle Terrier. My boy Brandon Joe Williams. That's my boy. I love him to death. He's a great dude. He's really out here doing all he can to figure this out and uncover it. At least I think so. I think he's doing a phenomenal job. But I still don't think I'm there to make any decisions in relation to making moves that are not completely fully enforced in the line to where I can prove myself right. Now, I am hearing things in relation to, I know I'm calm right now. I'm very calm today. Last night got me really tired out. But I do understand people looking into laws and understanding different aspects of what's being said all over the place on all of these laws all over. But that still doesn't, like when I ask for proof and there ain't no proof being shown, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Yeah, UCC is great. I use UCC. I have the UCC connection book. I have the lawful or redemption manual book. I got all that, bro. I've read a lot of that. But what I've come to find out is that when I tried to apply it in the real world, it didn't work. Now, could I go to court and keep it continuing? Yeah, I could probably keep it continuing. I guess court is the ultimate decision of all. If they don't want to, respect everything, I understand about operating Circular 10. I understand about endorsements. I understand about operating Circular 7. I understand a lot of the principles that are going on. But my own thing is, I'm not seeing a lot of people get remedy besides my boy Avery over at the 0%. And that's in relation to trusts. Now, do I want to put do I want to put that money and time into learning that right now? Do I think there's more pertinent and more important things that are prevalent right now in our society? Yes. Do I see traffic law reform being the top priority for everything that I have been called to do? Yes. Why is that? Well, I mean, someone right now is getting pulled over. Guaranteed. Someone right now is involved in a traffic stop, an unjustified traffic stop, where there's no probable cause, where there's no RAS, where they're in fear, where they're getting taken to jail, or they're being extorted for their time and labor. Because we know that all money is energy. That money ain't real. What is real is the energy that it took to receive those fake dollars. And I just want to see my community flourish again without being harassed and humiliated. I feel like that's my goal. I feel like that's my purpose here. So if I can save lives and we can sit here and empower people with knowledge to win in the statutory courts and then bring forth civil suits because they learn themselves rather than depending on another. Right? I'm not depending on someone else to help me in my civil suit. Why? Because I'm learning as I go. I'm constantly studying and putting whatever aspect of what I can bring forth directly into the application of my civil suit so that I can power myself on the next civil suit that I bring forth to Ridgefield. You see what I'm saying? And if I can utilize my experience to empower another to do the same, why would I not do that? I'm not out here charging for it. Do I need to charge for it? Yeah, I need to make some money. This is a lot of time. Am I going to charge for it? No. But at the same time, too, like I have to be productive in every aspect because I got young children. Like I got young children I'm taking my time away to empower other people. So if it's okay for me to ask that or at least I focus here with y'all on the right to travel and securing help where people need it in relation to these statutory courts constitutionally violating people, and to bring upon traffic law reform, that would be really appreciative. Because I feel like if I start getting off on these tangents, we're missing everything that we're focused on doing, which is traffic law reform. You don't need a passport to be free. You don't need a passport to not have your constitutional rights violated. I'm doing it right now through a civil suit. I don't have a passport. My constitutional rights are violated. I'm free. I don't have a passport. For 9 years, I've been doing the right to travel. I've never been arrested. So what is it then? Does the passport really make you free, or does you standing on your rights and not waiving them make you free? I don't think no contract is going to make you free, bro. I don't think no contract is going to put you on some special do not detain list, because I know several people who go to jail or get their car towed with having a passport. There was a guy last night that was straight in the Operation Wisdom. Yeah, I had a passport and I still got arrested. They still towed my car. I think it's really about whether you waive your rights or not. So you're telling me now that what's the difference between if I give up a passport when they come up to the window or if I give my driver's license? If I'm not even operating in a commercial capacity in the first place, what's the difference? I'm still giving up my information even though my constitutional rights have been violated. You're coming up and demanding me to give my information to you when there's been no crime that's been committed. That's a constitutional violation. That's a constitutional violation. I'm traveling in my private conveyance and you pull me over. I ask you, what's the emergency? You disregard that. You don't pay attention. Oh, well, I'm pulling you over because of this. Okay, well, I don't care why you're pulling me over. Is this a custodial? Do we need to go over the Eddie Craig script again? No, we're going to save that for tomorrow morning when he comes in Operation Wisdom at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you didn't know, Eddie Craig is coming through live and in effect for everybody with a Q&A and all in Operation Wise Dome tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. The link is in the description directly to the Zoom. What's up, everybody? I'm sorry. Let me look at the chat here, y'all. Lynn Davison said, did y'all just hear what Cameron said? If you didn't, we watch it. This is what I love. This guy, he thinks like the way we do. Cameron go, okay, but the passport functions as a tool. Boom. Passport is just a physical expression of what your mentality and energy convey, but it's an allegiance. I'm pledging an allegiance. What entails that allegiance? There's more to it. There's got to be more to it. What's up, Slash Eye? Yeah, Jonathan says we aren't free because our government says so. We are. We are free because we say so. We act in the manner. Right? That doesn't mean being belligerent. That means being a productive part of society. The zip codes and all this stuff. I love Eddie Craig, man. Jurisdictions are every way they bond you. That's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm just, that allegiance is another jurisdiction in which I'm putting myself into. I don't get it. I don't get it. I am a free living being. I manifest beyond this realm of just this. I don't need a paper for them and a contract with my identification on there, clarifying that we are in contract by me pledging an allegiance. Pledging is so much more than an application. You're pledging, bro. When you do that passport thing, don't you go out and do something? Don't you have to like go and hold your hand on the Bible or something too? Isn't that part of it? When you go do your passport, do you have to pledge your hand on a Bible or do you have to recite something? No, you don't. All right, Mike. I'll see you later, Mike. Okay, you ain't gonna do nothing crazy like that. I know when they do immigration, when they bring people in new for immigration, don't they do that? They got to do some pledge. All I know, man, is I feel like me personally, dude, I'm to the point where I'm like, I am the king, bro. I am the highest. I'm the creation of the creator. I think of it in the aspect of how Brandon thinks of it as making his own nation. You know, he has his own amnesty coalition. Mine would be my own union or nation, you know? And if I'm of the highest authority, I'll make my own. You dig what I'm saying? I don't need to go get permission to be free. I'm not handing over something does not make me free. I'm free of my own volition. And I'm free because I know it to be. Like, I'm not going to waive my rights. I'm not going to let somebody disrespect me. I'm not going to let nobody disrespect my daughters. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm free and don't nobody need to tell me that or give me verification to be free. Someone comes up to my door and pulls me over and they want to harass. I'm very chill today. I know I am. But if someone wants to harass me and just, do what they're going to do, hey, man, that's on you. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. I'm going to be as chill right now, as I am right here, as I am on the next stop that I ever have again. Because I know the power of what I have. I know that Chevron deference is gone. I know that qualified immunity is on its way out and hanging by a thread. I know the case law backs me in every aspect, going back over 100 years. And even if that's the case, we ain't even going to get to the point of arguing my right to trial because I'm going to argue a whole bunch of other shit first. Let me give you some of the things that I'm going to argue. Let's see. I want to do some things we've been developing today. We've been working. So this morning, because last night was such a slosh, I was working with Quentin. Shout out Quentin. I was working with Quentin today. And we was working some things on the back end. He wanted to see some drafts and he wanted to go through some hypotheticals, and this is just how I work on the back end, y'all. So I want to show y'all what's going down. So in the back end, we've been working. Oh, I can't do it like that. I got to do it. Hold on. I got to do it a different way. I'll show you these documents we done formulated. And he's got a line now of understanding and comprehension, which I think a lot of people need to get in relation to the proceedings as far as how you should operate yourself, right? So where's my boy Quentin? Man, I sent my boy a lot of files. Okay. They are all recently downloaded, though, so I can find them in my Finder. My baby in there singing. Downloads. Where are those at? So we've got... I don't know why those aren't showing up, though. That's crazy. This is crazy. Okay, so they don't want to show up. Motion to dismiss for Quentin. Open and preview. So if I come back over here, boom, 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 boom. So yesterday I was working with, or this morning I was working with Quentin. And the reason was because in the back end, we can really do some work to get people to understand just exactly what's going on with these procedures as far as like how they go in court. And with the procedures and how they go, mostly everything in relation to a traffic or transportation stop is a constitutional violation. Again, because there's no probable cause. They have to have probable cause in the first place, right? Tribe is really good on a lot of the stuff that he brings forth, and I'm sure I can learn a lot from him if I really was to dive deep, but I think we need to get him in as well so he can just kind of go over some documents like this too, if he's still even in here. But this is an amended motion to dismiss, and this was brought forth, this is being brought forth by Quentin, something very similar. In proper persona, and respectfully moves the court to dismiss the charges against him or her in the above captioned manner. In support thereof, the defendant states the following. The defendant challenges the legality of the stop and the subsequent search and seizure of evidence in the facial and as applied constitutionality of the Nebraska statutes and or local ordinance under which the state purports to charge defendant. The charges stem from a warrantless stop. Got stopped warrantless. Got stopped warrantless, huh? It's a warrantless stop. An alleged failure to comply with the registration or licensure requirements and related allegations of resisting or obstructing an officer. However, under both state and federal law, the search and seizure in question violated the Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution as incorporated by the 14th Amendment, as well as the Article 1, Section 7 of the Nebraska Constitution. So you see right off the bat, what we're doing is we're attacking on constitutional aspects. We're not even talking about the aspect of, did I really have the right to travel or not? It's irrelevant. Just the aspect that you pulled me over thinking with your presumption and assumption that I was operating in a commercial capacity is enough. Furthermore, any statutory basis for these charges is void for vagueness. Void for vagueness. Statutory. What is that? Colorable law? I need to go get a water, y'all. Hold on. If I'm going to go through this, I got to get water. Let me get a water real quick, y'all. Let me get water. All right. So again, this would be something that you'd like right off the bat, just like hit and run with. A motion to dismiss, right? So furthermore, any statutory basis for these charges is void for vagueness or otherwise fails to provide fair notice. Why is it fair notice that's being provided? Because in the statute itself, it is not clearly and explicitly stating that you in your own personal private capacity can literally travel. But it's weird. Because in the same aspect, if you look within your county or municipal codes under the road definition, county road definition, you will come to find, just like Quentin found this morning when we went through it, that it literally states in the definition that it's open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel. And any ambiguity must be resolved in defendant's favor under the rule of lenity. Again, this is a rule that it must be resolved in the defendant's favor. So, if we apply the rule of lenity and they do not find it in favor of the defendant as it should be ruled in the first place, if it's not explicitly stated in the legislature or the statute, what does that call for next? A disqualification of the judge. Why? Because it, again, after being invoked, the rule of lenity should be in favor of the defendant. 3. The country's own definition of road, street, and highway identify them as public ways for the purpose of public vehicular travel. Directly in his county, that's what it says. The county's own definitions of road, street, and highway identify them as public ways for the purpose of vehicular travel. Not motor vehicles not motor vehicles in relation to traffic, not motor vehicles in relation to transportation. You see what I'm saying? Do you get what's going on here? Thus, suggesting a right of private travel not necessarily subject to commercial licensure. Moreover, no provision unambiguously compels licensure for purely private travel. Statement of facts. These are all his statements of facts as far as what happened. Legal arguments. The unconstitutional stop and seizure of mandate application of the exclusionary rule. Do you see all of the things that we are applying in relation to rules and principles? We're not even talking about what you mean? We're not even talking about the right to travel. 8. The Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution as applied to the states through the 14th Amendment and the Article 1, Section 7 of the Nebraska Constitution protect individuals against unreasonable searches and seizures. State versus Ball. Warrantless searches are per se unreasonable absent of a recognized exemption. Katz versus United States. Officers demanding keys at taser point and conducting a rummaging search of personal effects without probable cause of a warrant fails to meet any valid exception under Nebraska or federal jurisprudence. State versus Hartsville. Again, he's in Nebraska, and we got Nebraska getting quoted, y'all. 2018. Okay. So you see how deep we working with ChatGPT. It's not like it's just spitting out some random BS. It's spitting out things that are particular to the state and situation. 10. Evidence obtained through this unconstitutional act is fruit of the poisonous tree. So again, we are attacking from the very beginning of the foundational constitutional violations. All of these acts, all of these doctrines we're invoking, we're bringing forth, subject to suppression. Wong Sun versus United States in 1963. Without this evidence, the state cannot sustain its charges, necessitating dismissal. The changed statutes ordinance are void for vagueness applied. The laws that fail to provide sufficient clarity or that encourage arbitrary enforcement are void for vagueness under the 14th Amendment's Due Process Clause. Colt Linder versus Lawson, 1983. Nebraska law similarly requires fair notice. State versus Popkin in Nebraska as well, 2019. 12. The application statutes, whether under Nebraska Revised Statute or local codes, do not clearly delineate whether purely private travel, not engaged in any for-profit enterprise, requires the same commercial licensure or registration. By conflating commercial and non-commercial usage, the provisions lack the precision necessary to inform an ordinary citizen of the law's demands. Do you get how big this one is? Do you get how big this one is? This one is huge. By conflating the commercial and non-commercial usage, you don't even have to have that. They have to have precise and necessary, they have to have such precision in the provisions to inform an ordinary citizen of the law's demands. So if it doesn't explicitly state that you can't get out there and travel in your non-commercial capacity, it can't apply because they can't just force you into a commercial aspect by using their presumptions. Do you get that? They have to explicitly state that you can't travel in that way. You understand? Rule of lenity, invoking these principles. 13. The officer's inconsistent and arbitrary enforcement treating privilege usage as if inherently commercial, again, underscores the risk of discriminatory application, contravening constitutional standards. Because the law as written or enforced fails to give defendant fair notice, it is void for vagueness and violation of due process. City of Chicago versus Morales, 1999. Rule of lenity compels a narrow construction favoring defendant. Even assuming arguendo that the statutes and local codes are not facially void for vagueness and ambiguity, concerning their scope must be resolved in defendant's favor under the rule of lenity. State versus sentency. And again, 2020, Nebraska. 15. The Nebraska Supreme Court has recognized that the rule of lenity, quote, requires that the penal statutes be strictly construed. Why? And that the courts must adopt the interpretation which is more lenient to the accused. That means they got to be lenient to you too. Where the law is not explicit, like I just said, y'all, where the law is not explicit that private non-commercial travelers are bound by commercial licensing requirements, the narrower reading should prevail. Thank you. Bing, 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 bing. Let's go. Jackpot. Consequently, defendant cannot be punished under broad or vague references to motor vehicles or registration that in context appear aimed at commercial usage. The rule of lenity demands dismissal of these charges. Expressio unias et exclusio rotorius, the rule of express mention and implied exclusion. 17. Under Nebraska canons of statutory construction, expressio unias et exclusio rotorius indicates that the mention of one thing implies the exclusion of another. State ex rel Nolan versus Good Day. Nebraska, 1980. The controlling statutes and local ordinances refer to vehicles operated for certain specified purposes, most notably commercial carriage or for hire operations, while omitting private usage from enumerated conditions. By explicitly regulating commercial carriers, the legislature impliedly excluded purely private travelers from the same constraints. Clearly, hello. The country's own definitions of road and street as public ways for the purposes of vehicular travel underscore the broad right to traverse, not a restricted, commerce-only regime. So, distinguishing the case from typical to no license matters. Counties' definitions of roads, public ways, we already went through that. Conclusion, asking for dismissal with prejudice, that the court suppress all the evidence, the court declare applicable statutes and ordinance for void of vagueness, such other relief as the court seems fit. So that's the motion to dismiss that we popped out this morning with Quentin. Now, if I say I come back in, now we're going to say, let's also give the judge a proposed order to sign off on, right? Actually, I just probably should share my entire screen over there. Share the whole screen. Proposed order. Now let's say, okay, also prepare a proposed order for the judge to sign off on. You already got it ready for him. So when you submit the motion to dismissal, you want to submit the proposed order for the judge to fill out, so they don't have to fill out themselves. Okay. This matter having come before the court on the defendant's amended motion to dismiss and memorandum of law, and the court being fully advised in the premises, hereby finds and orders as follow. The court has considered the defendant's arguments regarding the alleged unconstitutional stop and search, as well as assertions of statutory ambiguity and due process violations under federal and Nebraska law, based on the record presented and relevant legal authority, including but not limited to the Fourth Amendment in the Nebraska Constitution and the rules of statutory construction. This court determines that the defendant's motion is well taken. Specifically, the court finds that the stop subsequent search lacked probable cause or a valid exemption to the warrant requirement. The statutes and/or ordinances under the defendant was charged and unconstitutionally vague as applied and sufficiently ambiguous to trigger the rule of lenity. The charges in question cannot be sustained in light of the unconstitutional seizure and lack of clear legislative intent mandating licensure or registration of the purely private vehicular travel. As a result, all evidence obtained in connection with the stop is subject to exclusion under exclusionary rule, leaving insufficient grounds to maintain the charges. That the defendant's amended motion is dismissed is granted. That all charges brought against the defendant in this manner hereby be dismissed with prejudice. This is what we submit with our motion to dismiss to the judge, so that they just go ahead and sign off on and everything. Proposed order. Guess what? They don't want to cooperate. They don't want to, let's say the judge don't want to cooperate in relation to the constitutional violations and the aspect that they have to rule in our favor, and due to the fact of the rule of lenity in itself and that we've invoked that. All right, we'll move forward. So if we get denied, guess what? We'll do a motion to disqualify judge for bias. Because again, we've invoked that rule of lenity, and it says that they must must rule in favor of the defendant. Well, we've already been able to prove the difference in relation to the aspect that they're not showing the difference between commercial travel, making the presumptions and assumptions, and the aspect of free, open as a matter of right that we're finding right there in the definitions of the codes and ordinances of the city and county. Okay? So if they deny, motion to disqualify the judge for bias. Now comes the defendant in propria persona. Background of the facts and everything how it happened. Certain proceedings took place in which the instant case during the named judge of the statements took actions that reasonably demonstrate actual bias or alternatively create a significant appearance of partiality. Guess what? You don't have to prove that the judge was actually biased. You just have to have it just has to be reasonably assumed that you feel as such. And how could you not feel as such when it actually says right there in the rule of lenity that it must be ruled in your favor if it is not explicitly stated within the statute itself? Hello? I can't do anything else but that. Legal standards of Nebraska Code of Judicial Conduct under Nebraska, was this 211? Yeah, 211. A judge shall disqualify himself or herself in any proceeding in which the judge's impartiality might be reasonably questioned. Just questioning itself, reasonably questioning. That's all you need. Including circumstances where the judge has shown bias or prejudice concerning a party or personal knowledge of disputed evidentiary facts. Yeah, well, that's what we're bringing forth as evidentiary facts in relation to the constitutional violations, in relation to the actual aspect of bringing up principles and rules that we invoke. The appearance of impropriety pursuant to Rule 1.2, judges are required not only to act impartially, but also to avoid the appearance of impropriety. Even the perception of favoritism or enmity is sufficient to erode public confidence in the judiciary. Due process requirements. The 14th Amendment of the U.S. Nebraska Constitution guarantees due process of law, which includes the right to an impartial adjudicator. Nebraska courts have recognized when a judge's impartiality is reasonably in doubt, recusable or disqualification is necessary to preserve the integrity of the proceedings. You got to bring these forth. This is what you've got to bring forth. All you got to do is feel as though there's bias taking place. You don't got to prove that there's bias. It says it right here. Objective manifestations. Hold on one second. Objective manifestations of bias, right? The judge's remarks, rulings, or demeanor give rise to legitimate questions to whether the judge can remain neutral. A party need not prove actual bias where the objective appearance of partiality is present. State versus Thomas, Nebraska. Get what I'm saying now? Now do you get what I'm saying? Okay, great. So disqualification for the judge. Send that on out. Send that on off. Right then and there. There's of course a script that we have for this in relation to how you would go about stating this in court that we've pulled from. Before we go into this last one, let me show y'all one more that we would actually file beforehand as well. You could probably file it in conjunction with your motion to dismiss. And these are what we developed and worked on this morning. All of this, we developed all this morning with Quentin using the ChatGPT, y'all, the pro mode for Operation Wisdom. Improper persona. This is a motion to suppress evidence. Go through the background. Statement of facts. What's going on here? I need just to scroll, please. Continue to scroll. Thank you. Okay. And let's just widen this. I don't want to do full screen like that. Okay. So the background statement of facts of everything that happened, right? Legal standards. The Fourth Amendment and exclusionary rule. The Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, applicable to the states through the 14th Amendment, protects individuals from unreasonable searches and seizures. Matt versus Ohio, 1961. The Nebraska Constitution, Article 1, similarly guarantees the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. Under the exclusionary rule that we are invoking right here and now. You see what I'm saying? Right here and now. Evidence obtained through an unconstitutional search or seizure is inadmissible in a criminal proceeding. Wong Soon versus United States. Furthermore, derivative evidence of fruit of the poisonous tree is likewise barred unless sufficiently attenuated. Warrantless searches and the burden of proof. 6. Warrantless seizures and searches. My mouth is so dry, bro. Over here sounding like I got dentures in my mouth. And she's just warrantless searches and seizures are presumptively unreasonable, subject only to a few narrowly delineated exemptions. Katz versus United States, 1967. Once the defendant demonstrates a warrantless search occurred, the burden shifts to the state to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that the search fell within a valid exception to the warrant requirement. See how big deal that one is? It says what? Once the defendant demonstrates a warrantless search occurred, all burden shifts to the state to prove by preponderance of evidence that the search fell within the valid exception to the warrant requirement. State versus Hartsville, 2018, baby. 2018. Traffic stops. Reasonable suspicion. An officer may only initiate a traffic stop if there is probable cause to believe a traffic violation has occurred or at least reasonable articulable suspicion of criminal activity. Let's do that one more time. I just hope y'all will get y'all's constitutional rights one of these days, because you don't need to hand over a passport. You don't need to hand over a damn thing. That's the whole point I'm trying to get all my understand, is that you are free and you don't need anything to be that. What don't we get about this? It's very easy to understand. You are free. You are free. You don't need anything to be free. Millions of people died for our freedom. After they died, they didn't say, hey, you need this passport to be free. That's not how this works. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be that guy. I live free. I know free. I operate free. And nobody's going to tell me what to do. You dig? I don't put myself in situations to be a slave. I'm sorry. I am who I am. I am. Traffic stops and probable cause, reasonable suspicion. An officer may only initiate a traffic stop if there is probable cause to believe a traffic violation has occurred, or at least a reasonable, articulable suspicion of criminal activity. Well, this one right here is not even. This one's getting cut out. To believe a traffic violation has occurred? No. Well, traffic, maybe, because traffic, again, is commercial. So, yeah, I guess so. Or at least reasonable articulable suspicion of criminal activity. Yeah, you can keep it in, because traffic, we already know what the definition is of that. Ren. Now, something that might be beneficial, too, is within these documents, if you was able to get your definitions, if you was able to get all your definitions and put in your definitions of traffic, transportation, it's kind of like within my abatement. I got an abatement that I use, and then my memorandum in abatement, I give all the definitions and break down everything as far as drive and all that. So, but I would think a definition for traffic and all, so the confusion's not there when you're submitting paperwork, that'd be great too. So they know what definition you're using. You're pulling it right from their sources. So absent specific and articulable facts constituting a legitimate reason for the stop, the initial detention is unlawful. Is unlawful. State versus JASA. Importantly, if the purported violation is a regulatory or administrative requirement that is itself ambiguous and not applicable to non-commercial usage, an officer lacks a valid basis to escalate the stop to a full custodial search and seizure. Delaware versus Prowse, 1979. The stop was unlawful absent probable cause. The warrantless seizure and search violated the 4th and Nebraska Constitution. Fruit of the poisonous tree bars all derivative evidence. Any alleged consent was not voluntary. Conclusion: because the initial stop was predicated on erroneous and vague legal basis, failing to establish valid probable cause or reasonable suspicion, and because the warrantless vehicle search exceeded any permissible scope, all resulting evidence is tainted and must be suppressed under the exclusionary rule. If the court suppresses the evidence central to the state's case, the prosecution will be left without a legitimate foundation to proceed. Therefore, justice and constitutional mandates necessitate an order excluding all evidence flowing from the unlawful stop and search. Wherefore, defendant respectfully prays that this honorable court grant the motion to suppress, excluding from trial all evidence, observations, statements, and derivative information obtained as a result of the unlawful stop and seizure and search. Conduct a evidentiary hearing, if necessary, to determine the scope and legality of the search. Award any and other relief this court seems just and proper under the circumstances. Motion to suppress. Do you need one? That's what we're here to do. We're here to help you empower yourself. Hope you know that. We did all this morning within an hour with Quentin. Now he's 5 steps ahead of the game. Now, let's say that we get to the point where we file the let's say we're fresh off the bat. Let's run through this real quick. Do a quick take at what we just went through. So let's say, for instance, my boy Quentin had just gotten pulled over yesterday, right? First thing he's gonna be doing is he's gonna be going and what would Quentin do? So he's going to be going and getting his incident report. He's going and requesting body cam. He's scheduling up a call with the sergeant or lieutenant, and then he's getting his notice of liability. And if he hasn't already filed it with the chief, he's going down to the police department to file it with the chief and have a discussion in relation to the incident that just happened, in which he's going to record. When he calls to the sergeant, he's going to talk to the sergeant in relation to policies and procedures of the officer in which pulled him over, in relation to, is it normal? Is it right? Is it common that you just pull people over that have a private plate when they're traveling? Right? Do they know the law in relation to these quotes? Do they know that within their own municipal code, under the definition of county road, that it states that it's open as a matter of right? The definition, literally, go to your county or municipal code and look up the definition of road or county road and look to see that it says that it's open as a matter of right. Open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel. So when that you call these sergeants or lieutenants and you get them on the phone, what you're doing is you're asking, well, don't you know that it says this in relation to public road and blah, 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 and get them to, admit on the phone, what I'm saying, that they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? Because what does that do? Well, it builds a case, right? You're building everything for your case already. And what that also does is it gives the aspect, oh my gosh, where was I going? It gives you eligibility to bring in the aspect that this is a common practice and policy within their police department, thereby bringing in a Monell claim. So instead of just filing the person independently, right? Independently, then you're also bringing in the city for a policy and procedure that is against constitutional law. Okay. So you're building all that. So you file your notice of liability, you have the conversation, you record everything, you're getting all those documents, right? But then one of the first things I would always do is, of course, I'm going to file a motion to dismiss, or I'm going to file an abatement, or I'm going to file a motion to strike. Normally, I like to file the abatement in relation to the memorandum, especially if it's in regards to my right to travel, because it's really hard for them to beat my abatement. They can't rebut it. It's too much for them. I kill them every time. Okay? They can't rebut it. But you can go like he went and go for the motion to dismiss. So in support of that motion to dismiss, you're also making a proposed order for the judge to sign off on. Like if you was to give a motion to dismiss and they had to make their own proposed order, you're already making one for them to sign off on. Okay. And you're bringing up a lot of constitutional aspects and utilizing the aspects of these rules and procedures, fruit of the poisonous tree. And then let's say, you're not getting anywhere because you've pulled up and invoked the rule of lenity, which is of course in your favor, but they deny it. Well, then we're going to file that disqualification, right? A motion for disqualification of the judge by showing bias, so we can get somewhere in relation to constitutional talks. If you have any aspects or problems in that regard with that recusal or disqualification, you dig what I'm saying? Then we can come over and hit them with something that's pretty hardcore here, y'all. Okay. And this is that one that stops everything. Okay. This stops everything. This stops the whole case. This stops everything from moving anywhere. This stops everything. This stops everything. This stops everything. Motion for stay or injunctive relief pending appeal. Comes now to the defendant, appellant, pro se or pro persona, and respectfully moves this honorable court for a stay of proceedings. That means a stop of everything. You got to stop. All proceedings, all hearings, all conversations, all schedulings, everything must stop now. Right now. Or in the alternative, injunctive relief pending the outcome of the defendant's appeal in the above captioned manner. In support of the defendant, appellant states as follows. Background. On or about the date of whatever the date is that this judge denied your disqualification because they biased, or they denied your, in conjunction with, the trial court entered a judgment or order adverse to defendant appellant in this matter, from which an appeal has been timely filed to the appropriate appellate. I hate it when it does that, bro. View, continue scroll. I do need to make it bigger for y'all. Appropriate appellate court. 2. Pursuant to applicable state rule statute in the Nebraska revised statute or rule. Defendant appellant seeks to stay of enforcement of the judgment or order or an injunction preventing further proceedings until such time as the appellate court renders a final decision. Defendant appellant has duly perfected the appeal by filing a notice of appeal, paying any required fees, or the otherwise complying with the procedural requirements. This ain't the one that. This ain't the one. This ain't the one. This is the wrong one. Where is that at? This one. That's the wrong one. This is the right one. All right, let's get back to it. Sorry. I had the wrong one. Because I started reading this bad boy. I said, wait a minute. That ain't right. Okay. Motion for stay or injunctive relief pending appeal. This one's for the Lewis. This one's right. In propria persona. Everything as before. Washington rules of appellate procedure, including but not limited to. Yep, because we've got all the rules in here. RAP 8.1b. On the date this court denied the defendant's motion to dismiss, along with the defendant's request for judicial disqualification, despite the defendant's contentions of constitutional and statutory violations. The matter is set forth. Oh my God, I hate it when it does that, bro. Continue to scroll. For further proceedings leading to an imminent risk of trial or additional hearings. Appeal discretionary review. The defendant intends to or already has filed a notice of appeal and or petition for discretionary review under RIP 2.3, citing errors warranting high court intervention. What does that mean? High court intervention. What does that mean? High court intervention. Citing errors warranting higher court intervention. We're taking it up. You're not approving my motion to dismiss that I know has to get approved? Granted. Then I go and shoot a motion for disqualification because you're being biased, and you just still want to operate as though you have all power on this trial? No, there's clearly bias here. I've proved everything, and you're not looking at it. You're not granting based on what is told to be granted in favor of me. The rule of lenity, I invoked it. So since nothing is going like it's supposed to be going, we are now citing errors warranting higher court intervention. We're moving it up. It's got to get a discretionary review under RAP 2.3. These include the trials court's misapplication of RCW Title 46, the improper elevation of non-criminal infractions to felony offenses, and refusal to disqualify despite mandatory grounds under Washington Code of Judicial Conduct Rule 211. Irreparable harm. If the court compels the defendant to proceed to trial or other exhaustive processes, meaning that if they compel me to trial, to go to trial, after everything I've brought up and shown that you are in violation of, okay, before the appellate court tribunal, oh, he's calling me back too, decides these threshold questions, irreparable harm results. The defendant's constitutional rights, public resources, and legal clarity would be jeopardized. Post-trial appeals cannot fully remedy a wrongful denial of fundamental rights. You hear that? Post-trial appeals cannot fully remedy a wrongful denial of fundamental rights. Very important, y'all. Argument. Legal standard for a stay or injunctive relief. This stops the whole court proceedings from moving forward in any manner. These are those procedures that, let me take a quick break here. Look at what y'all got going on. Let me chit chat with you for a sec. I'm hoping y'all are seeing that these are the processes that nobody's been teaching, that they kind of hold back. Maybe there's somebody else out there that's been teaching these. I don't know. But this is the process to stop everything. Because again, a traffic stop is a unconstitutional stop. It's unconstitutional. If there is no probable cause of crime being committed, it's unconstitutional, y'all. It's a violation. There has to be probable cause. Once you start invoking rights and they deny you, those cops start harassing you even more, it's a constitutional violation, y'all. Just stand on it. They've taught us so wrong. They've taught us that we're supposed to submit to authority when we are the highest of authority. That's kind of weird. It's very weird. Our servants have become our authority. That's kind of weird. I don't get it. But either way, you are here because you now know. You can see that you have all power to file these papers that we're seeing with all these fancy names and all these language, but it's really just an understanding. Do you see what it is? It's not so much being like super smart and lawful stuff. It's just an understanding of the mind. It's a mind switch. It's to know that I am the most powerful. And when you violate my constitutional rights, that's the only thing that we can speak of in this court before we move forward any forward with any of these claims in which y'all talking about, because you weren't supposed to violate my rights in the first place. You can't get past constitutional violations. You can't listen. Everybody would agree here that constitutional violations are more stringent than the actual claims that they're bringing forth. It's kind of like this. Look at Luis's situation. He's parked on private property. He's not driving his truck. No cop was behind him when they pulled him over. His family's inside the gas station. He's at the gas pump on the phone, and the cops come up to him. They tow his vehicle. They take him to jail. They tow his trailer. They tow the car on the trailer, and they leave his family stranded out in the middle of nowhere. Okay? They're saying Luis did what? He didn't have paperwork in order? So you tell me which is the more stringent crime here? The theft of private property, the leaving the family stranded. Like, which one is more severe? Do you see what I'm saying here? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying here? It is very weird in relation. So the constitutional violations outweigh the charges that are being brought forth against him. So they got to get past that first. They got to get past the constitutional violations. He said, I'm not giving you my ID because I haven't committed a crime. He said, hey man, it's failure to present ID or whatever the case may be. And he said, if you don't, he said, well, I'm gonna reserve all my rights, man. I'm reserving all my rights. I don't want to talk no more. And they said, hey man, if you don't give us your ID right now, you're going to jail. That's constitutional violation. Anything after that, if they threaten you with arrest, if you don't give it to me right now, you're going to jail. Anything that they obtain after that is fruit of a poisonous tree. It cannot hold in court. Therefore, it has to be suppressed. That's the point of the aspect of, again, suppression, motion to suppress. It's unconstitutional. They'll never, and if you suppress all the evidence in relation to the constitutional violation, there is no case, because everything that was obtained afterwards is his name, his ID, blah, 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 blah. So again, it's a mind aspect of understanding just the process of paperwork that is going to allow you to put yourself into knowing who you are to get the case dismissed. At least that's how I'm thinking of it. It's literally that simple. It's not hard anymore, guys. We can all do it. And then once you get it dismissed, you move forward on your own civil litigation, federal or state tort lawsuit. And you go after it. Because the district courts are not approving qualified immunity anymore, y'all. They're not digging it. It's not what's up. It's not the vibe. The mind of the collective mind frame of our society is now changing. Y'all tell me what y'all got. Yeah, I've seen everybody talking about Ice-T. I'm trying to help people right now. He's got enough money to help himself. So what I want to say is tomorrow morning, I want to be able to help anybody and everybody that has any problems whatsoever freely, because I think you deserve it. Let me see. Is it like this, Lynn? Let me see. Lynn, is it like is your email like this right here? And then yeah, tomorrow morning though, we got Eddie Craig coming on at 9 a.m. So we're really about to squash all the bullshit. We're about to squash all the bullshit. I'm about to powerhouse up with Craig, Eddie Craig for sure. And once I powerhouse up with Eddie Craig, it's over with. We're getting traffic law reform. It's coming. It's just gonna grow from here. Eddie Craig is amazing in what he does. His education is phenomenal. He knows his stuff. And I can only get better from here every day as I continue to learn more and more with every person that I interact with and help, and we formulate and we think and we do what we do. We're getting more and more powerful every day. And I just want to thank y'all for everything that y'all are and what you do and how you contribute. I'm sorry if last night it was a little hectic. I got it under control. I put myself in check. I've done some meditation on it. And nothing crazy. It wasn't nothing crazy. It was just, it got out of control. It wasn't structured. And I always want to be the most beneficial and be the most value I possibly can to each and every one of you. And I don't ever want to falter or fail y'all in that, because without y'all, I'd be nothing. So Let me see again, Lynn. My email. Let's see. Okay, at Gmail. Okay, I got it copied. I got it copied. I think I got it copied. Let me paste and see real quick. Nope, I didn't get it copied. Copy. Boom. Okay, I got you, Lynn. What else y'all got? Y'all got some more questions real quick before I sign off? Nah, I don't know who David NY is. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I am so busy helping people. Like, all I do is text, email, and call all day and develop with ChatGPT from the moment I wake up to the moment I sleep. That's what's happening right now. Every single moment in my life is going towards helping someone right now. No time for myself. Literally none. It's crazy. But it's good karma and I love it. I love helping people. And it's going to come back. And I appreciate that. So, y'all send me an email. Y'all reach out. Because what end up happening is I'm just emailing you and you got my number and then we talk over the phone. So, I'm not overworking myself. I got a lot of energy. It's okay. It's my time. People need me, man. It's my time. People need me. We all need each other. And I need y'all to learn this information as much as possible so you can help me help the people. Please. Just please learn as much as you can so that I can help you learn and then we can all help each other. Please. That's all I want. Y'all are saying, how can I help? That's what I want. I need y'all to learn what I am putting out here. Grab this foundational truth and just help me help these other people. Maybe I'll build an email system to where we can independently. I don't know. The Operation Wise Domes are great. Again, tomorrow morning, Operation Wise Dome. We're having Eddie Craig on the channel. Ah! The Zoom link is in the description. It's the first link. It says it. It's right there. Okay. Facebook groups are too much for me to manage. I'm not even gonna lie. Okay. They're too much to manage. It's just too much for me. I can't do that much right now. It's too much. Emails and texts right now, and then Operation Wise Dome, and answering all of the he's talking about throw me a wrench if you like. He's gonna start answering. And messages, it's out of hand, but it's growing. And like I said, we're gonna get to the point where we get help. Yeah, man, it's gonna be cool. Y'all email me. Anybody that actually wants to help for real, y'all email me right now. My email's in the description. It's all the way at the bottom. And then we'll just y'all get my numbers and everything. We'll go from there. All right, I'm gonna end this live. It was a long one. It was just quick though. It was just something I wanted to break down. I'm gonna actually cut this really short when I edit it. Just give the information. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I probably won't keep it up, but yeah, y'all just email me. Lynn, I'm emailing you right now. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Oh wait, tomorrow morning. That's right. I'll see you in the morning. All right, bye.